Toyota Tundra, which better happen soon, goddammit. It's like, all right, Buck's going to make sure everything, the veterans are going to make sure they get back on track and everything's going to be fine. It's that's the whole point of infrastructure. Everyone from the top down makes sure that everything gets on track at some point. So
when we get to that point, though, it's going to be so baseline that you're going to need like that hit of the day of the week where it's like your drug. You just have to turn on the mask because it is what it is. Like, I fully expect to be sick by the end of this West Coast trip because we're putting so much energy and attention onto these games at such a late hour that it's like, there's no way you don't come out of this like physically drained. It's only
I've been sleeping like a rock.
Yeah.
I wake up and I'm like still groggy and I'm like, oh my God, that was like 10 hours and I could have used, 10 more because it's, I mean, it's probably because I'm like half drunk and sunburned and been running around with the kids and all that shit. But also these Mets games, take it out of you. I hope it gets to that point. I feel like to anybody who is a sky is falling type of fan, and there's a lot of you out there, if you're not doing this, I beg you to do it. Watch the post games, watch the interviews, watch the pre games, because when you talk to people, it's almost like I always try to relate sports down to everyday life, like as much as I can. And it's kind of like when Barstool is going through another scandal, I'll have a lot of friends, family, outsiders being like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, are you going to like lose your job? Is someone going to go to jail? Is this thing going under? And I'm like, nah, this is totally fine. Like, this is par for the course. We'll be good in like a week. And that's how these players talk when, things get a little dramatic, things get scary, people start to freak out. And a guy like Buck is like, we're all good. Yeah, right. That guy got a hit, or that guy didn't get a hit, or, whatever it is, there was an error. But like, we're fine. The team's fine. The clubhouse is all Gucci. And sometimes you just need a reminder. That's why, and we'll get more in depth about this. I loved that tweet from Max Scherzer being like, hey, want to clear the air here. I got bit by a dog. I was trying to save, comfort my hurting dog. He bit me. She bit me. It's okay. I'm fine. There's no problems. My hand is totally fine. Like, this is a non-story. Beautiful. Nip that shit in the butt. We need more of that where it's like, hey, everybody calm the fuck down.
Yeah, and that was completely botched by New York Post. Mike Puma goes, oh, it's his non-throwing hand. And then he comes out 2 later, it actually is his throwing hand. And then Scherzer has to come out and be like, it's no big deal. He's still throwing his bullpens in Florida. He's still like, nothing of his timeline has changed. It's probably something as minor as can be. And it was a story just because they needed to get their LOL Mets clicks. It's so dumb.
I cut my finger this morning on the tinfoil serrated thing. Hey, it's the life of 1 minute man. Sometimes the tinfoil, you live by the tinfoil. And people were worried. Is he going to be out? Is he going on the DL? Am I going to get 1 minute man? And I was like, relax. It's totally fine. I'm all good. It's not a big deal. Drink your Coors Light. So I mean,
if Luis Rojas was still manager when this happened, it'd be like Lin-Door lost the tip of his finger.
Oh my God!
The amputate Scherzer's hand. Like the way that Buck handled that.
Now the Scherzer one I love because it was true and honest and real. He came out like, here's what happened. It's not a big deal. The Lin-Door thing, it's a non-issue. I don't even really want to talk about it because he came back, hit home runs, played his ass off. Clearly didn't matter. There is no way, no way he got his hand stuck in the door. I don't even get what that means unless. The only thing I could think is like the door's closing and you're like, oh shit, I forgot something. And you go to hold it open and you somehow accidentally in between. That's all I can come up with. The only thing else that might have worked, people were saying, these new age fancy hotels, sometimes they have like a big wood sliding door in the bathroom for the shower, or some of these fancier things that are like, heavy and it gets going and you don't realize it and you reach and get pinched. I don't know. All I know is they didn't really give me any details. They just said that it was, a non-baseball injury. It's just like, I don't think so, man. If it was and then the story was like, he's all right, could DH, probably will take a day. Then all of a sudden it became he has a form of a fracture. It's like, is it fractured or not? And again, none of this really matters, so we shouldn't even harp on it. Yeah. But again, the point being, in the past, it would have been broken finger, out for 2 weeks, torn tendons, add another 60 days to Scherzer, and the sky has officially fallen. But this team is different, so who fucking cares?
Literally 2 non-stories. Like the team's like perfect.
And I guess so, the Franks of the world immediately. Are you telling me this team's not cursed? Yes, they're to blame. But I guess even, I did it too. I got nervous and I started tweeting about it. And I guess we just have to all make a concerted effort to not make non-stories into stories, because that's where I'm sure some of these guys hate the fans deep down because of bullshit like this. And I'm sure it makes it harder and the media is more, annoying and all that shit. So in this day and age where you can tweet at people or tweet at reporters and you can help a story gain momentum, you can blow up a rumor, you can make things worse than they are. You actually, unfortunately, as a fan, can influence the way the game is going, or the way the season's going. And unfortunately for the Mets fans, we do that in a negative way more often than not. So I just beg of you, and I'll have to do it myself, to not make these things into bigger deals than they are, because they're not.
Two things are just inherently real. Baseball players get hurt in the most ridiculous ways, right? You're sneezing, you're carrying venison, you slip off the sidewalk, whatever the fuck it is, anal fissures, whatever it may be. And two, the Mets have the most absurd amount of those. And it's just this franchise, I'm telling you, at its core, there is some fucking dark magic, voodoo, whatever the fuck it is. However, Uncle Stevie has come in and he will take care of that with his money, with his brain, and with everything else. And look at that. Like you said, if this happened during the Wilpons era, we would have our two highest paid players wouldn't have fingers right now.
It would have been dead. We would have had two funerals on our hands right now.
Max Scherzer would have had rabies. At the very least, Max Scherzer would have rabies. I think with rabies, you die, right?
He was joking about on Twitter both injuries.
Yeah, rabies, you die, right?
Isn't that didn't Meredith get rabies on The Office? And I know you get some shots, but I think once you become Max would have become rabid, right? Mad Max would have been the headline of the Daily News because he was rabid and he bit his wife, and then they had to put Max down. I could already see this fucking.
We should make that cover. We're gonna overreact one more time, and it's gonna be that Mad Max has rabies, and then we're gonna put this to bed. You know what it is? It's if you've been watching Stranger Things, the Mets have a Vecna deep dark in their franchise, and it's the way Vecna is taking pieces of everybody who has guilt and bad and did evil and shit. And Vecna has been growing on the inside from, the Vince Coleman and throwing bleach in reporters' faces, all the LOL Mets things that we've done. And Vecna is growing strong within the Mets forever and ever. And then in comes Uncle Stevie and he plays that Kate Bush song and it opens up and we all need to walk through to the light, out of the Vecna world upside down and get into the regular world and just realize what's in front of you. I don't know what else, how much else can we do? I guess the rest of this gauntlet, we keep calling it gauntlet, needs to be, we need to play well. Will people shut up then? Can we finally find some peace where we just start to talk about how good we are? Let's be obnoxious about how good we are, not obnoxious about how bad we could be.
It was driving me insane. They dropped the first 2 games and it's regular fucking baseball against one of the best teams in baseball, and then the season's over. It's the June swoon. It's we come back and we win the next 2. We've got 3 wins in June already. It's June 6th. What the fuck? Right. And what you need to see, and then you're looking at the Padres, you're looking at the Angels, you're looking at the Brewers. They're looking at their schedule now and going, oh, fuck. They just split with the Dodgers. They are that good. They don't even have Trevor Williams throwing 5 innings against that lineup.
Crazy. Our bullpen of cobbled together pretty much no names. At least they were no names. You're gonna know the name Adonis Medina from now on. It's we are the ones who knock.
Yep.
Come on, fucking realize it. Get cocky. Part of being good is that you get a home field advantage, and that exists, at the park, but also in on sports radio and on sports Twitter and shit. Thump your chest a little bit. Fuck, what's the point of being the best goddamn team in the National League if you don't flex a little bit?
Yeah, White Sox Dave, he's man, this Mets team is just awesome. When we came back yesterday, and I'm this is what people who aren't watching the Mets through the prism of years of being a Mets fan, this is how they view the team. It's holy fuck, that team is a wagon. And I think a good chunk of us have gotten to the other side now. And again, you're going to have your stupid guys get hurt and ridiculous ways, or you lose a couple games against, again, the team with the best ERA and WHIP in the National League. Like, what the fuck are we crying about right now? That's a good fucking staff over there, and as well as like a nightmarish lineup. Just think about like how much of an asshole, if you're crying about the Mets, how much of an asshole you must look like to 90% of fan bases out there. Like, this is what you guys are crying about right now?
Yes, I saw someone, this has always been the way. A lot of stoolies have been like, for years, like, and me too, like me and Frank, this is back when we both were aligned in the darkness, and they'd be like, yo, you guys, like, I expect the Mets to be down 20, and I turn on the TV and, you're up 1. And it's like, well, because you don't understand everything that's gone on underneath. It's like the duck on the pond, everything looks cool and calm, and underneath it's turmoil because of all the shit that's happened to us. But we've now gotten rid of that. And somebody tweeted me last night saying, come on, you really can't understand why we are this way. And I'm like, I can't, because if I could change, then you could change, the world could change. Like I was the deepest, darkest, right there with Frank the Tank, pessimist in the world. But as I've always said, it was a realistic take. Now the realistic take is just look around. Look at everybody can hit. Apparently everybody can pitch. We can outmanage. We can out hustle. We're more clutch. We can do it. We can score runs. We can play tight ball. Like, it's just, if I can recognize it and change the way I look at it, then no excuses for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if this idiot can change, anybody can change.
Yes,
That's what we're trying to tell you guys.
There were times where I was so negative that even every now and then I would catch myself and be like, damn, like I look at my tweets. I'm like, I haven't said a good fucking word, in 2 weeks. But again, that was also when it was much more, warranted. Now, ain't nothing warranted. We haven't lost 3 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We still only, we've one series we've lost? 2 series, split a couple. Like, we don't even know what a losing streak feels like this year. We don't even know what, we've had a handful of like blow up starts, a couple blown, late innings. Otherwise, everything has gone good. All of it.
We are the best team in the National League. We have the second best record in baseball. Just think about that when you're complaining about how bad
we've gotten,
or about the littlest hiccup.
We went into here, we have Scherzer and DeGrom. We're going to dominate. We've gotten 8 starts from Scherzer, 0 from DeGrom, and that's what our record is.
That is, I remember thinking the season's done because we lost DeGrom and then Scherzer, and it's like, done? We're fucking the best in our league. We're
just making it even for the rest of the teams right now. We might not have lost a game right now.
Clem said it last night because we were talking about, how we're doing this all without them, and somebody was saying when they come back. And I don't like the W word. I am steering clear of this. Clem said we all move at our own pace.
Yep.
And I'm just not prepared to be the guy saying when we get them back, we're going to fucking dominate. I just don't want to get my hopes up. I'm like a battered pup. I'm like I've been in bad relationships. I don't want to give my heart away again. So I'm not going to talk about what happens when they get back, because then we're going to win a million games. But I'll just talk about what's been going on without them, and it is fucking nuts.
And there's no place like Citi Field in the summer, and we're rolling into these nice weather games when all the fans are going to be out, all the rabid crazies that are going to get off of Twitter because they'll be at the ballpark, and then I won't have to hear them fucking complain. They complain in person. But there's nothing like Citi Field when all the fan base comes together. We're going on a Tuesday. I'm fully expecting 3/4 of that stadium to be full.
Yeah, it's the 7 line, and it's just, you get young, you get old, you get every demo, everybody comes out. The Mets fans are really a very underrated. People know about Mets Twitter, but like Mets fans in general, I'll put them up there with any of, the 7 line is obviously like a name and a group, but it's like, the Raiders have like the Black Hole, and the Browns have the Dog Pound, and the 12th man in Seattle. A lot of times they do it in football, maybe not as much in baseball, but like Mets fans have that presence. They are rowdy, they are loud, we are obnoxious. We get overinflated, we get overly depressed. It is a loud, rambunctious bunch. And when we're good, it's like, ooh, buddy, watch the fuck out. No one, what I mean? If you were to list like most difficult places in sports to play, and people are throwing out like Lambeau Field and like Yankee Stadium in the 90s and some of these spots, it's like crazy enough. I think Citi Field's right there.
Yeah, and like Kyle said, we're going to be having our Barstool the Ballpark will be at the end of the month. It's a Tuesday. It's against the Astros. That's going to be another like primetime matchup. 2 fucking heavyweights going toe to toe. So go to the We Gotta Believe. I know we have the link tree in the bio. You could go there, get your
I know a Tuesday is not the best, but this one is also for a lot of Saturdays are tough for me. I got the kids. We've got games and recitals and bedtimes and all that shit. Tuesday nights, I think a little bit more manageable for. Maybe, you come right from work. Maybe your wife or your husband put the kids to bed, get a babysitter, whatever. It's maybe a little bit for the older crowd. And the younger crowd, I don't want to hear it. You can go out any fucking day of the week you want. So, fuck you guys. You should all be there.
Take the next day. I think it's like that's the week right before 4th of July, too. It's like just take
it
the fucking Wednesday off. Take the whole week off.
And don't even. You know what? Don't burn a vacation day. Just do it. Go to work like a fucking zombie and just sit there because who cares?
Yeah, our boy Nicky the Good, Nick Bono, who's at Barstool, he does some stuff here, and We Gotta Believe. He was saying he's like Tuesdays are actually better for me. He's like,
he told me that too.
Very heavy with family and stuff like that on the weekend. Yeah. So this is for the people that can't do the Saturday nights. It's gonna be, and again, it's gonna be a matchup of 2. It's gonna be like this is when they say World Series previews will be that. So, and at the end of this gauntlet. We have the goddamn Brewers. We'll be taking them on after the Padres and the Angels. And if you're going to go to that one, which I think
Brewers are home.
Yeah. Brewers are home, and it's going to be rowdy at Citi Field. If they keep rolling like this, everyone's going to be excited. We're going to be fired up. We're going to be like it's almost like welcoming the team back, like welcing the Army back after. Like,
I was just going to say, if we end up like winning this road trip. I think we should be, up against the fence when they come off the bus, when they get to the stadium like that. They need a hero's welcome because this is what defines Mets seasons. 90% of the time, the Mets go out west to die. The other 10%, they don't. Not only do they not die, they come back like
the conquering hero,
murder. Like if things go well, the Brewers should watch out on that return home.
And speaking of the Brewers, they're leading the NL Centrals down to only a half game, so they're probably scared to see us on the schedule.
Yep, exactly. So I want that Brewers series to be the homecoming for the Mets and the homecoming for the Mets fan base to become like this electric fan base that we know exists and we know it's going to be here through like Uncle Stevie's entire tenure. And if you're going to get your tickets, you got to get them on Game Time. That's right. Game Time, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. I'm looking at the Brewers series right now. Tickets are as cheap as $5. $5.
Dude, $5 in the year 2022 is $0. That's a free ticket to the game.
So Game Time is the only place to get the best, cheapest last-minute tickets. You want to get your Stu Finer seats where you're basically playing like third base, you could do that on Game Time. Get them cheap, no matter where you want to go. So download the Game Time app. You go to the account tab to create a login, and you redeem the code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time, last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. And again, these tickets drop, the prices drop, you get them, and then you're going to the game with, again, it's going to be a bunch of rabid lunatics there. Lunatics. But before we get to the Brewers series, we have to get to the Padres series. So that's coming up. All 3 games are at 9:40. So it's like a bittersweet. It's not a 10-10, but it's still late as shit. I'm just going to go on a quick tangent here. How is there not like a rule in just sports where when an East Coast team goes out west, they just bump it like an hour earlier? Yeah. So everything's like 9-10. Right. And it's like those teams are going to have all their home games against like the West Coast teams, the Mountain teams, the Central teams. But like for the East Coast, just give us an hour break. Is that too much to ask
If the Yankees can play games at 11:30 in the morning, we can compromise here on the West Coast. It only happens, a couple times for each team. They go out for their big West stretch. Just bump it 30 fucking minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, for God's sakes. It's like the East Coast runs the goddamn world. Cater to us a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, 9:40 a.m. is a half hour earlier than the 10:10s. It feels like a breath of fresh air, though. Yeah. So if they bump that up to 9:10, it would just be so. Especially,
you know what it is? You can start like the pregame starts in the earlier 9 o'clock hour. Like there's things that begin the process where you're like, oh, it's already on, and it's not. But like at least you don't feel just getting to the first pitch is tough. And then the thing is, once you get going, then you're like, well, now I'm up because I can't, I couldn't go to bed the other night after that game. I was like up and pacing and thinking, and it was like, so it's really not
thinking.
It's not 10-10 to, let's say 12:45 or 1 o'clock. In this case, it was like 1:30. It's really like 2:30 because I'm up texting you guys and tweeting, and I want to fight on Twitter and all that shit. So there's an hour before, an hour after for the whole thing. So when you have a 4-hour affair, it turns into a 6-hour affair. It's like your whole day.
And the big question for the series is, what time is Kyle going to be walking? Because they're all 9:40 games.
9:40 on Wednesday.
Yo, that is tough. How was yesterday? What were your stats yesterday?
Nope, I didn't walk yesterday.
Oh, did you walk it? Wait.
Yesterday was Sunday, Kevin.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking that you were doing a walk per series, not a walk per week. Okay. So there's no day games this week for you?
Nope, not a single one to be had. Fuck you, San Diego.
I mean,
that's why last week when people were like, I can't believe you're walking on Wednesday again. I'm like, this is the last time I'm going to have a day game to walk. I'm going to be up until, to your point, you're awake just because you're jacked up from the game and you can't sleep.
Sweating. And
I'm gonna have to go through the whole. It's gonna be a 2-hour affair after the game's over.
You know what you should do? You might have to go like nocturnal for a fucking day or so, or whatever. Sleep until. That kind of happened to me when I was sick, like Clem predicted. I was like sleeping the whole day, so then I was actually able to watch the whole game at night.
Brutal.
That is gonna be. Well, you made your bed, buddy.
Yep. Hey, and thank you, Kyle. Like this, if this is contributing 0.001% to the Magic, I'll fucking take it. This is the guy. Kyle's dealing all the shit we're dealing with as Mets fans, and he's gonna have like 30 gallons of sweat have left his body. He's probably gonna have his dogs barking. He's gonna be absolutely just shot by the end of it. So this is the stuff that World Series don't come easy, and Kyle is fucking doing whatever it takes to get us one. So shout out to him.
If it comes down to it, and there's a parade float, and they just happen to want to put me on it, I'm not gonna say no.
You gotta. If they do that, though, there has to be a treadmill. You have to be on the treadmill the entire float.
Imagine that if you have one of those things that propels, like as you walk, that's what moves the fucking float. We'll all be walking around on it.
Our Kyle stats for this Padres series, they're on a 3-game winning streak. They took 3 or 4 against the Brewers, as Phil was just talking about with the Brewers. 2 games behind the Dodgers, so they're 6-11 winning percentage, and so it means they're pretty fucking good too if they're right behind. And we have basically an MVP showdown right now with Manny Machado, 333, 9 home runs, and is fucking just dominating.
I will give you, in order to maintain some realism here, because a lot of people are now telling me I'm too positive. I might predict a little bit of a letdown series, like we were so jacked up for the Dodgers. We went out to a place where we never win, split in a very dramatic way, maybe feeling ourselves a little bit.
So you're expecting a World Series hangover, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like a mini world. Yeah, a Mets June hangover. I could see that. I could see 2 out of 3 here. Because we, we got a little too excited and a little bit too much adrenaline. Now, the other part of me is like we got 2 in a row and we're ready to roll, and we're probably fully adjusted to the West Coast now. So maybe I have my foot in my mouth, but I could just see like people almost feeling like, all right, we did what we needed to do. It's like no, the job's not done now.
Phil, how are you feeling going into this? Because I know you're a sick fuck that knows every single thing, what's going on with every team. How are the Padres? What's their juju going like right now?
Yeah, Meek's gonna tell us about their fucking lefty splits.
No, they've been going back and forth versus the Brewers this weekend. They did tag Corbin Burns a bunch, and it was Friday night. Then they also blew a game, also in that series. So they're like,
do you do anything but watch baseball?
Not really. I watch baseball, play video games. That's pretty much it.
Do you have shows that you watch or no?
No, I don't watch any TV.
Right. So if the Mets aren't on, you're watching.
If the Mets aren't on, the odds are I'm watching. I have MLB TV pulled up on one monitor, and maybe I'm playing Rocket League or something on another. So
I watch the Yankees. Like if the Mets have a day game, Yankees have a night game, whatever. I always watch the Yankees. People can't seem to understand that. They're like, oh, the Yankees are in your head. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm from New York. I watch both of the New York teams. Yeah. But I would never. Would you guys ever just throw on a Diamondbacks Reds game? Do you do that, Kyle?
the past like 5 years, I've had to do it for work. So like, no. Now that I finally don't, I'm like, absolutely not.
Right.
I
Clem,
enjoy
you're
it.
not
Just
wasting hours doing random games, right?
No, even when I was younger, maybe like here and there, if there was two like just awesome teams facing off.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I could do that with the NFL. I just can't do it with baseball. There's just too many games. I treat the other games like a rational baseball fan would. It's like 162 of these things. I'll wait till October. But with like the NFL, I could watch a scrimmage basically because it's so fucking big. But I love that we had Phil for that. There was another guy who used to work here. Speaking of Rocket Leagues, he's no longer here. I think he had like kind of the same. Yeah. He was wired the same as Phil, so I love that Phil's a Mets fan now. We have a Mets guy.
And look, like I'll have it on as like background noise sometimes, like some random game, but it's like I'm on my phone like 12 to 14 hours a day, along with just watching every baseball game. That's pretty much what my average day is.
No, it's sickening, but we love it because I mean that's the reason why I brought you on the podcast immediately, because when you were just a fan tweeting, I was like, I always found all of your tweets very. Like it would check me a lot. When I was too high, you'd bring me back down. When I was too low, you'd bring me back up, because there's, numbers never lie, and you always have the stats or the info where I was like, oh shit, okay, I was dead wrong about that. Let me change my point of view. So to have you on the team, I think is invaluable. So yeah, where are the Padres at? What are you expecting?
They're tossing. Well, we're lucky we missed Musgrove and Gore in this series. We do face two lefties in Snell and Minaya, although we have been better versus lefties. We did just beat Urias yesterday, albeit it was versus the bullpen. But
yeah, whatever.
I like our odds of 2
You're
and
3.
Hang
out with a pitcher until you get to the bullpen, so that is part of the
job. We're 9-9 versus lefty starters this year, which I think is an upgrade over last year, because last year they were bad versus everybody, but lefties they just could not hit for the life of them. It was like you're lucky to get 1 or 2. But I think we can get 2 or 3. Just score a bunch of runs.
Are we? We got to be taxed a little bit in the bullpen right now, right? I mean,
yes.
So that's going to be tough.
Although, I mean, Colin Holderman's probably available for 2 innings. Drew Smith's probably good for maybe 1 or 2.
Drew didn't pitch yesterday, right? So we got him.
Diaz is probably good to go.
I think deserves a fucking week off to but I also want to keep it rolling. I really think bullpens are such a crapshoot that if one of these guys, and I'm hoping it's someone like him because of that, emerges as a fireballer, fucking I'll throw it right at your fucking face, let's go, that could be so valuable. But yeah, that's the one thing I'm a little bit concerned about, obviously. I mean that the pitching changes for that series every 20.
Oh no, that was stupid.
Both teams, it was absolutely. And we mentioned it, but Buck Showalter the other night pulling who was it? Peterson.
Greatest pitching move of all time.
Pitch was
yes.
I love the movie making a video game, and he actually did. I'm so happy about that.
It's stupid that's a video game move, because everybody in the club, everybody in the park went, oh, never mind. No. I love that he gave him the chance. I love the whole thing, the way he did it, because had he worked through that inning, that would have been one to grow on. The same way I keep saying about Adonis. I think he would have been jacked up. It would have been good for our pen, and then he put one right over the plate. Mookie fucking laced it. It was like, oh, never mind. Never fucking mind. And you know what? Maybe that's a little embarrassing. I don't even think so.
It's okay to embarrass a guy like that. You have to learn somehow. I like that he doesn't care about that. Look, he's going to embarrass you like that, but it's probably for the best.
But I just don't even think, is it embarrassing that fucking Mookie Betts was about to crush you like he crushes everybody, Yeah.
That's when it's you have the pedigree of Buck. Everybody in that dugout, you can see it. Every time something goes on, there's a player next to him who Taijuan Walker's in his pocket. Hey, what do you think here? What is he doing? What should I be looking for? Type of stuff. But when it's Buck, you just get to write it off. There's no other manager who you could really look at and be like, let me motherfuck this guy, unless you're Max Scherzer. I'm sure he would have done that. He'd been no, I'll sit back down. But if it's any other player who's not an alpha, you just respect him on such a different level that it's yeah, you know what? I probably didn't have it. I'm just going to defer to your judgment, and you go figure out someone else to fix it.
Now, did you guys think yesterday that was Diaz going to Buck saying, I can do another if you want? Or do you think Buck went to Diaz and was like, can I get one out of you?
I think Edwin said he could do another, and Buck said nah, we're good.
Yeah, that's I that's how I would have guessed it too, just knowing that Diaz is kind of a crazy motherfucker. I feel like he went to him and said, I got this if you want it. I personally would have, before even Lugo imploded, I said I would have gone with Diaz for 2 and let the chips fall where they may. I actually said, why not do it? Because the worst thing that could have happened would just happened with Lugo, right?
Mhm.
And I know it sounds crazy, but I almost feel like a walk would have been like worse in that spot because it would have been like a bigger inning, turned into a big one anyway.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Diaz was in and was erratic and just walked the leadoff hitter, we would have seen a whole, a shitty version of that inning in a different way. But I would have probably gone with him for a second inning.
And it's June 5th. There's no real need to do like a 6-inning save. Like I know that the Pirates did that versus the Dodgers last week. They used their closer for 50 pitches, but
you're right. You're definitely right. Yes. But I think there was something to a statement game and this team and the fan. I know you can't manage with the fans in mind, and so I don't think he did that. But I think there was something. I think there's a reason why Roberts was changing pitchers every 2 seconds, and Buck was. It was a lot of strategy because I think it's like this is the class of baseball right now in the National League.
Let me tell you what, Kev. I hope Buck managed that in mind. I hope he said, you know what, I'm going to take Diaz out here. We're going to have Lugo come in. And, I mean, listen, Lugo was my guy. I was the first guy I ever had on the pod. He's not what he was a few years ago, right? And, even at his best, he hasn't been that dude. And I hope all the losers out there who were fucking being like, oh, he's going to blow it. And he fucking took down 1, 2, 3 without even having his best stuff. Like Phil said, he did not. He almost killed Mookie Betts for God's sakes, right?
And Trey Turner, he nearly hit both of them.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Trey didn't lean into it and be like, "Get me out of the batter's box. I want no part of it." When Diaz, that fucking coward. But I'm happy. All the other losers, they had their fucking minds in a pretzel, being like, "Oh, well, we don't have Diaz in, and look what happens. Another guy comes in a big leverage spot against nowhere near the guys Diaz had to face, and he fucking blew the save." So I'm hoping. And again, Buck's like voice. I don't know. Somebody's like twang in his fucking accent. It just makes me feel like everything's gonna be like, "Listen, Edwin, I'm gonna bring in Lugo. He's going to blow the save." And all the fucking idiot Mets fans who just rip him apart anytime he blows a save and don't say a thing when he goes 1, 2, 3 and strikes out the side. Yeah, they're going to realize what they have here.
Don't they feel stupid? Like, and don't they at least have to, in deep dark places, admit to themselves when Lin-Door was out for a night? If he's such a bust and he's not good, why are you flipping out and saying we're cursed when Lin-Door's got to miss a night? If Diaz is such a loser, how come you're yelling, why didn't you leave him in for 2? It's like, you guys, people are incredible and they can do mental gymnastics of all sorts. But when the hypocritical evidence is tangibly right in front of your fucking face and you can't recognize how double talk you're doing, it's like, what the fuck?
We've been shut out for 1 game this year, and it was the game Lin-Door didn't even play in. So that says enough.
Yeah, for real.
As much as Buck's been using pitchers for 2 innings too, for him to turn around and have Diaz sit for that 9th, I think it's also you're cranking right now. You're the guy that we're looking for you to be. I'm not going to run you out there and shoot your confidence in the foot if you don't have it when I put you back out there. So it's kind of like playing both sides of the fence there, where he's like, well, we all know he's not that great the second time through. He's got no adrenaline once he sits back down, and so does Buck. Right. So he's like, listen, am I going to
it is what it is.
I'm just going to shoot your confidence right now because I want to try to get you back up. Like, no. It's worth almost a loss.
And Clem, I know you said he didn't face nearly the guys that Diaz faced, but also that lineup, man, it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. And that's why all the more reason fucking Eddie goddamn Alvarez. That was a name that was I was pretty dumb. Just that I'm so happy we ended up winning that game just so I don't have to think about Eddie Alvarez when I go to sleep at night.
Tim Britton of The Athletic put up the stats. Like, Eddie Alvarez has 21 career hits. 11 of them are versus the Mets.
Oh, Mets killer. We have another Mets killer. I didn't realize.
The most random Mets killer, a fucking figure skater.
When they said he won the fucking silver medal in speed skating, I almost wanted to jump off a fucking bridge. We got a figure skating Olympian beating us in extra innings. I was ready to – that might be, statistically speaking, he's – half of his career hits are against the Mets. He is the best killer in the world.
Yeah, the fact that he's a figure skater just makes it perfect. Like, he's going to probably go to the plate wearing the figure skates next time, or the speed skates. Because he's not a figure skater; he's a speed skater. If it was a figure skater, it would just be tough to take. That would be really tough to take if it was a figure skater.
Only the Mets have a new, villain, and he's a goddamn figure skater. Give me a fucking break.
Kev, like you said though, with the bullpen and with Buck, I feel like he's gonna, manage it right. And again, the fucking Zach Britton shit. If he brought in Diaz yesterday, I don't want to hear about the Zach Britton shit anymore.
Ever again, yeah.
Buried.
Oh, people
in the fucking dirt.
People want to talk about, Buck's this old, dinosaur. He doesn't like analytics. what he did in the 8th inning is probably his most analytical thing you could probably do in that spot. Like,
Yeah.
best reliever versus best hitters. It's that simple.
Yeah, and he has the fucking the gut check where he's like, Peterson, one pitch, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You're done for the day.
The fact that 8th inning is considered still one of these, wow, can you believe he did it? Yeah, we needed our best pitcher against the fact that baseball managers used to just sacrifice their whole fucking win because of, certain rules is
It's
crazy.
like, I need my 8th inning guy in the 8th inning. It's like, no. Best reliever versus best hitters. That's all.
Always, man.
And I feel comfortable when Diaz is out there. I feel comfortable when basically everyone's out there at this point. Even like fucking Holderman is like my best friend in the world.
Yeah.
But like Kyle said, when Buck's out there, you just feel like everything's going to be all right. And again, I like that he was so pissed off and was basically reading the rule book to these fucking idiot umpires, because that game could have ended up differently if Roberts could wave the white flag with a 5-run lead, which again, I think is respect to the Mets, where he's like, I want to win on Sunday and this team, I need every advantage I can. That he probably manages his bullpen different, and maybe we don't score those go-ahead runs if his bullpen is fresher on Sunday, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that really affected anything, because they also Groundroll is pitching that game anyway, and Brewster Groundroll is the easiest 100-mile-per-hour, like most hittable 100-mile-per-hour you'll ever see. Like the Mets tattooed that.
That title goes to Kyle Farnsworth. That used to be on a fucking straight line right down the plate. 109 miles an hour. People used to tee off on that motherfucker left and right. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Currently the most hittable 100-mile-per-hour goes to Brewster Groundroll, because the Mets were not missing that.
And
no.
The other guy on the other side who's throwing 95 is, I'll tell you, Medina. He throws some fucking funky ass shit too. And the fact that he's an old Philly and he has such a sweet name makes this so much better.
I think he was one of the guys that they didn't want to go for Machado in 2018, which I don't know if that's true, but if it is, that makes it even sweeter.
Wow. Well, maybe we're going to get that version of him now. Maybe that's what the Phillies thought they had, because that was first pitch strikes. That was like bold. Let me go after you. Don't care what's going on. Shake it off. When he was going like this, trying to hear his head comm, I was like, no. That's
the other thing. Pitch comm, if we have that in the playoffs, we need to have like jacked up, like full blast, like louder, so like they can hear everything.
We need like the noise canceling.
Yes.
We need what Clem's wearing.
Yeah.
I'm going to send them out there wearing
Bose.
that if that's what we need, because it's going to be so fucking loud. You're going to hear shit. Man, that was such a gutsy performance by him. And then, on the offensive side, Pete Alonso, he's going to win the MVP. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to win the MVP. He's so dialed in. He's not going to win any awards for base running. I'll tell you that much. He is lumbering around the bases like a larger gentleman with like he twisted an ankle before he's running the bases. He's hobbling around there.
Don't say that, because now I hope he didn't twist an ankle.
It looked like I saw him. I was like, oh no, Pete. I think Pete's hurt. I was like, no, that's just how he runs. And that slide into second. It's like, rum, 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 rum. Let's trot. I want to see a lot more trots from Pete.
Yes.
But he is
10th on the all-time home run list. He's only played 2 full seasons, basically. I'm like, how the hell is that even possible?
He has 122, I think, which is like 6th all-time. He's going to creep up on Darryl in like a matter of 4 seasons. It's unbelievable.
And it's a testament to just how powerful Pete Alonso is and just how shitty our power hitters have been in the Mets franchise.
Man.
Like I remember when David Wright was moving up the list, and I was like, "Oh my god, these are the guys that he's chasing here, and the numbers like Kevin McReynolds." I'm like, "How the fuck is Kevin McReynolds even like on the list?"
Or it's like guys who were here for like 50 seconds. It's like John Olerud's on the list with 75 home runs or whatever. The names are so depressing. Same thing with up until, God bless Carlos Beltran, when we didn't have a 40 home run hitter, or I guess it was Todd Hundley, but when we had nothing over 40 home runs for, however long, I remember guys around here being like, wait, even in the steroid era, you didn't have like a 50 home run guy, a 45 home run guy? Like, nope.
We got Ray Ordonez playing shortstop. Eddie Agbayani.
That's why it's so nice. Like, he is a true blue power hitter. And I was happy that One Shining Mets put it up. But that home run off the end of the bat opposite field was exactly like, I didn't know that it was against the Dodgers, but I pictured that home run from 2019, because that was the moment where I was like, man, this guy, he goes opposite field. He's got strength like Paul fucking Bunyan. Like, he's swinging a tree trunk out there. Looks like a toothpick. And that was an identical home run. So I don't know if it's, I think, Clem, you have the The idea that juice balls are back.
Yeah, our boy Ryan Spader said it. And I said it, back at the time in May.
I want to say, so I do starting 9. I took it from Kyle, whatever. So Friday night, there were like 57 or 47 home runs hit in the majors. It was like the third most home runs hit in like a major league day or something. I was getting like home run alerts from like, oh, Kyle Garlick has 2, Lane Thomas has 3. Like players, they're just made up having multi-home run games. I had to tweet out highlights. I'm like, no, this is a joke. Like juice balls are back.
Give me the juiced balls. I want them back. We got a good hitting team. A lot of these, these hard hit balls that we don't have are going to all of a sudden turn into if we can match all of this with the power because of the juice, buddy, watch out.
Manfred's just dumb enough too to be like, oh, it's 75 degrees out. Let's just drop all the juice balls. Like he didn't like gradually put them back in. He's just like, there you go. Oh, it's warm out. That's why the ball's flat. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Ryan Spader said, he said the balls were dead in April. Then once like baseball's the only game in town for the most part, other than a couple of playoff games here and there, they're going to juice them again. And if there's any person in this universe I know is dumb enough to do something like that and try to, at the end of the year, you're going to be like, look, the numbers are all the same.
I think this is smart. Like this is a smart Rob Manfred rule where it's just like, I don't care, man. Let's hit home runs. Chicks take the long ball. It doesn't have to be gradual. We're obviously like doing it on purpose. Fuck it.
And then he's going to take the juice balls away in the playoffs.
Yeah.
which is fine because we'll have all our fucking pitchers.
It all. Yep. That's what I like. It's almost, the way the organization with Sandy, it was like, I keep saying we got the money ball guy and then we mixed it with the money. Well, now we've got the manufacturing runs, clutch, base hit team, use all fields, go opposite field. If you could pair that with juice balls, we got the best of both worlds, baby.
And I do not want to put this in the universe, and especially if he's mashing.
Well, then don't.
Well, it's been said on the text. If it's said on the text, does it count?
Fair.
Pete Alonso at first base.
Oh.
We need to have a defensive replacement late in the game. That's all I'm going to say because I just know it's going to rear its ugly head at the worst. I've seen this fucking movie 1,000 times, and I like Pete, and I think he works on it, and he can get better. But it's very tough to see, even just like the little things where he's going after the balls that aren't for him.
Crazy.
It's not just the errors.
He thinks he plays second base. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, just run to the bag. Like every time, just run to first because especially with this shift on, like when have we needed or anybody in baseball, Meek, in all these games you watch, have you seen any first baseman fielding the ball in between the bag, like first and second? Nobody does that, Pete.
No, Pete's one of a kind because he's just too amped up. He wants to get to everything.
No, and you see it like when he has an error, he's like fuck, and he's always even yesterday late innings he bobbled it, but was able to recover and still get the out, and he was very mad at himself. It's not like he's like I'm a DH, I should be a DH. They put me in the field. Fuck this. He wants to. He works at it, but. He
also sucks at throwing it to the pitcher. Every time he throws it, I'm like, that's going to get thrown away. Like, it's a 50-50 shot. I'm like, it never looks like it's thrown where it's supposed to.
I know, like, when I see that, I'm like, that's a tough play. The guy's running on the inside, but that's a routine play. You got to be able to make that throw. Right. And I don't know, maybe you should step inside or outside and, not have to throw around the runner, but, take a couple steps before you throw it. Do something because the idea of making that throw on an angle – to Lin-Door on either side of the bat. It's like, nope, that's never going to happen. Never, ever, ever.
And Pete was a good fielder at first base last year. It's just now that's looking like the outlier.
Yeah, I was going to say that to me is, the ball gets hit your way, let's say like 7 times you make a grand play that you never have in the past. And that's what sticks in people's minds. And I would say overall, though, he ain't Keith. I love every time Keith breaks down first base defense.
Oh.
He always throws in, and if he was a lefty, it would have been, it's an easy play for a lefty or whatever every time.
And I was looking at Pete Alonso's baseball sound page. His outs above average at first base at the defensive stat, he's in the 6th percentile. So the lower number, the worse. I'll put it out there. He's like one of the worst fielders at first.
That's tough. So I hope it's not the case.
Work Canna in at first. They've gotten him like some work there defensively, like before the games and stuff. I could see them being like, if Plummer takes off and just becomes like this crazy bat that we can put in the outfield, they're going to figure out a way. That's what I love to see out of Buck after the first 2 losses, where then he just puts McNeil in left field and he's like, well, fuck it. We need to just like change up the structure of the defense in the lineup. If we're not going to score any runs, we're not going to win. So I don't care if we have a shittier defense out there. I'm like, at least the guy knows what he's doing.
Right.
the same thing over and over again, and you keep losing.
I feel bad for Plummer because they're facing so many lefties on this trip, so it's like he can't get in the lineup.
Yeah, and I kind of like with Buck too with McNeil, where he slammed his helmet down at the end, and then he's like, "We're going to give him the day. Maybe he needs to be with us." And I also think he probably was going to think about sitting him anyway because I think McNeil is still a little hurt, and he's a lefty,
versus lefty. Yeah.
So it's kind of like use that as the excuse and kind of like kill 3 birds with 1 stone potentially. And I don't know. I don't know if like a first baseman, like Phil, you said, there's really no one out there. I don't know if like a decent hitting yet still glove first base. Just Dom needs to start hitting. He hit a home run in Syracuse. That's huge. We need Dom back.
I mean, are you banking on him? Like, I think it's over.
No.
He's doing AAA means nothing to me right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's people out there thinking this is gonna like jumpstart him, and I think his time as a Met is basically over.
Yeah,
he looked like a world beater in spring training too, and it's because you're going against the scrub guys who can't make it.
There are certain guys in this world that are the definition of quadruple A, and it's you're looking at maybe Kalenic and you're looking at Dom Smith. It's like there are guys. There's nothing left to do in AAA. You kill it, but you can't hang at the major league level. Go play with Savannah Bananas.
You know who is impressing in AAA though? Khalil Lee and his like tiny little bat. Hit a ball 468 the other day.
And
you hear that? And he replied to a tweet. Chris, the teacher, tweeted at him and was like, "Did you get a shorter bat? Is that the reason?" He's like, "Nope, same bat." And I'm like, Khalil, we both know that. I have eyeballs. You know Khalil. He's got Alana Garris's old bat, and he is fucking raking. And when I don't know, I heard I was listening to the radio when it happened. How bad is Nimmo's wrist? Is there a chance we might lose him here? I know he stayed in the game yesterday.
I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it until the beat reporters talk to him later. I'm not putting that thought in my head.
My heart jumped in my throat. That his reaction looked bad. He was down for the count. He also we know he gets hit a ton and he hangs in there. He owns the inside part of the box. Like he doesn't give up. He gets on base a lot because of it. But get out of the fucking way, dude. Like he just stands there half the time. And it hit him right on the fucking hand. I was like, this can't be good. But
same wrist as he was.
Same wrist, yeah.
Oh, God damn it. All right. So because that's the thing. I'm like, well, I guess Khalil Lee might be seeing time. So hopefully that's not the case, obviously. And I know Nimmo's probably gonna play through this shit because it's his contract year, but I need him to like just do the right thing. And if he needs some time off, take some fucking.
We have the guys to like replace him too. Like, it's not like it's like Brandon Nimmo's out. We have like Albert Almore in the lineup for a week or something. Like,
Quickly, by the way, just want to run around like the rest of the NL East before we wrap up here. Braves are hot. Finally above 500. Won 5 in a row. 7-3 in the last 10.
Fuck the
8.5 games back. Phillies turned it around a little bit. Fire Girardi. Have a unbelievable grand slam in the 8th, 3-run yak job in the 9th to beat the Angels who are in a fucking free fall. Still 11 games back. So, there's that. So we still got it comfortable. Somebody said to me, this is how it goes. And I was like, what do you mean this is how it goes? Like, we're killing it. And they said, well, what would you feel like if we came back from the road trip only up 2 games? It's like, well, yeah, if we have a fucking catastrophic free fall of,
we'd need to lose.
Yeah, then my tune will change, but I think that's happening anytime soon.
We would need to lose our next 6 and the Braves to win their next 6 to be up 2 games.
Yeah, I'm looking, just the casual in the standings. It's like, yeah, the Braves have turned it on. They've won 5 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Well, the Mets are 8-2 in the last 10.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever, man.
And for anyone who says, "Oh, the Phillies suck," it's as a wise man, Alonzo Harris once said in training day. You know that guy in the wheelchair? Who do you think put him there? Like that's what we do. We fucking are the guys who put the teams and bury them in the fucking standings. So I'm not going to worry about the Phillies and the Braves until we have to face them. And again, the Braves got fat against the Rockies. Like that's just what you do against teams like the Rockies, right? So not going to worry about that one bit. So two other things here, quick. One. Just want to get everyone's one thought from the Dodgers. One thought from everyone regarding the Dodgers series. What was your takeaway from the Dodgers series? Kyle, we'll start with you.
That the team can be fluid and they can figure out like what they need to do to beat the better teams, and that it's not necessarily the same thing that like led us to sweeping the first 2. Mm-hmm. Like we can sweep the Phillies and the Nationals as much as we want. Like we need to figure out how to beat those good teams and how not to be in awe. And they proved that they were like that because that easily could have turned into a 4-game skid, and they came right back. So that
what about you?
If we could beat the best team, well, now the second best team in the National League with Trevor Williams and David Peterson starting, we could beat anybody.
Yeah,
So.
that was going to be my takeaway is like we're still doing it with, not even close to our real horses, And I guess my real thought was I was happy that like we lost those games with the bats going to sleep. Like we crushed it all week. We scored 77 runs in our previous like 9 games or something. So eventually the bats need to cool off. The fact that they did, I would have been much more upset if we were losing those games like 8-7 or something, where it's like we put a lot of runs on the board. We got good starting pitching, but our bullpen blew it. That was like if there was ever a time for your bats to cool down, it's when you traveled and you're playing the Dodgers. So, even the losses I think happened in like the best way possible. And I'll also say this is a takeaway, not really necessarily about the Mets or Dodgers, but how it relates to the rest of the league. Mookie Betts is unbelievable. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. I feel like, first of all, every inning he's up. Every single time he was on deck. Felt like every single time he got a hit, and he's batting like 310. So to all the guys out there, like the JD Martinez's of the world and the guys who are still batting like 360 or 70 or whatever else is out there, those guys must feel like they get a hit literally every single time they're at the plate, because the Dodgers all of them were monsters, and none of them even had numbers that compared to that. So, but anyway, my big takeaway from the Mets point of view is, they played like their best ball when they really needed it to, like whether it was good pitching, the offense went to sleep, but then they found it. Like they can adapt. They can be like fluid, like you said, and figure out in a 4-game set how they need to approach it.
Yeah. And I mean, mine's pretty much similar to what you guys said. These teams will look different in October or even August when they face off again. And then if they face in October, Kershaw and May are going to come back. DeGrom and Scherzer are going to come back. And personally, I would rather the DeGrom and Scherzer side of that. And Kevin, again, we're going to walk. Everyone goes at their own pace. I personally believe they will be back and they will be great and they will be better than those two. The Dodgers will probably acquire 3 All-Stars by the deadline. Hopefully we acquire 3 All-Stars as well. But my one takeaway, and this is just, again, someone who doesn't casually watch other teams' games, and I don't watch the Yankees as much as Kevin does, obviously, Mookie Betts is fucking horrifying. And this is coming from someone who has to watch Ronald Acuna and Juan Soto all the time. I tweeted out that he was horrifying, and some Yankee fan hit me up and goes, dude, you have no idea. 2018 was F-tier fun for Yankees fans watching this guy all the fucking time. He is so awesome. We would have had him on the Mets if Uncle Stevie's initial purchase had went through when it should have. The Wilpons fucked it up. I love Lin-Door. Phil, by the way, who leads the league in F-WAR right now?
Among shortstops, Francisco Lin-Door. He's tied with Xander Bogaerts and Jeremy Payne. So yeah,
interesting.
He's currently 9th in the league in WAR on Fangraphs. Mike Trout's 8th. So in case the Lindorks want to keep it going, we're going to wear our shirts. But again, like shit is fucked up when between Mookie Betts leading off, Freddie Freeman. I wasn't even concerned about Freddie Freeman this year by the end of it, and that's
the most relaxed I've ever been around that motherfucker.
The crazy part about Freddie Freeman, he only has 4 home runs this year, which is shocking.
That's nuts. And then Trey Turner, who is a Mets killer and just like a fucking awesome player in his own right. I couldn't have been happier to be the team that broke that 26-game hitting streak. It felt so fucking good. And that's the last takeaway is Trey Turner having a 26-game hitting streak, and that is the halfway point of Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak.
I know, it's sickening. It'll never be touched. It's
never be touched. Never be touched. So that's the Dodger series. As for the Padres, looking ahead, they got the pitching matchups: Snell versus Cookie tonight. Then we got Darvish versus Ty Walker. Then Manaea, Bassett. So our 3 best healthy pitchers are facing their guys. Snell 0-2 with a 4.80 ERA. Darvish has a 4.03 ERA. Manaea has a 3.77. That's facing the NL West, right? But also in a pitcher's park. So, I mean, those aren't untouchable guys. And no Tatis, obviously. So that's a fucking good thing.
The only guy to really fear in that Padres lineup is Manny. Everybody else, they could get pitched to.
Yeah, so let's let everyone else beat us. And again, Hosmer was obviously the one on everyone's lips after not trading for him, and he got off to that start. He's batting 296. He also has a 630 OPS since May 1st. He hasn't been very good lately. So unless he crushes us, I don't know. But it's not like we, let go of the next Nick Plummer by not trading for him. So it's going to be – and McGill, fucking rehab start yesterday, look all right. Has one more and then hopefully is coming up. I think Peterson's going to be the one who gets sent down. I think because with And with Williams having like bullpen experience, I don't think he's going anywhere.
They
right?
may want to manage Peterson's innings too in the minors. That could be another part of the situation.
Figure out the walks there. So we'll see how it goes. Cookie meter heading in tonight. That's my last question for everybody. Where are you at as with Cookie after his, 2 months of baseball to start the season? Which, by the way, Jimenez is crushing for the Guardians. Good for him. Cookie Carrasco counts as the Francisco Lin-Door trade, who, by the way, leads shortstops in WAR. So let's not fucking forget about that in the grand scheme of things.
It's a win-win trade for both sides. Anybody trying to make anything out of it, stop. Cleveland's happy, we're happy. That's all. Yep. And my cookie meter for Cookie, through 2 months, I'd give him peanut butter chocolate chip.
Ooh, okay. That's a strong cookie in the constant Clem. Like peanut butter and chocolate and anything is all right, fair enough.
I think right now I'm at a Chips Ahoy level, meaning that like I'm back to like I'm good with Cookie right now. I expect a good outing, which is just like when I go to the pantry, I always have my Chips Ahoy. It's not quite double stuffed Oreo because I need that. That's primo to me. But as far as it's a cookie that I absolutely can count on, that's where I feel like right now. He might go out there and give me Carlo's Bakery. He might go out there and give me Insomnia. But I know that right now, if I go home, I know that I can have my Chips Ahoy and it'll be a good enough night. That's what I'm expecting tonight. It'll be good enough.
Okay, Kyle?
I'm going to say Milano. I think he's going to be top tier, the fancy, you got to unfold.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
I like mint's actually my favorite if you're at mint chocolate, but I'm just going to go regular chocolate.
Keep mint in the bathroom 2022.
No.
That's the motherfucking motto. Keep mint in the bathroom. Fuck you guys.
No. God damn, I hate all you people, man. Oh, fucking mint chocolate chip ice cream. I'm going to go get a fucking.
my dick, dude.
Let's see. All right, fine. My cookie meter, Sandy's fucking cookies.
Fuck you,
motherfucker.
That was a
Shout out
low
Team
ball,
ZD.
you son of a bitch. Fuck you.
I don't even like Sandy's. I can't say that about my guy Cookie. I'll go EL Fudge double stuffed. Which those are. I bought a pack the other day. I went to take a picture of the Sandy's to chirp you, and then I saw the EL Fudge. And I was like, all right, we're gonna go. And you got to get the double stuff. All cookies should be double stuffed.
Yeah, I agree. Double up everything.
So we're riding about as high as we can after a split. I think possibly right now, and I guess the rest of the way here. 6 games left on the West Coast part of the quote unquote gauntlet. 3-3 is I'm not hoping for, but I want 3-3, if not better, right? I think it's fair to say.
I mean, the way the Angels have been playing, I think you got to start getting cocky there and expect to win that series. So
I've had Mike Trout in fantasy since his first game. I am just terrified. It's like backing up, back up, and I feel like he might not hit anything but a home run against.
I mean, they've lost 11 right now, right? 11 in a row.
Yeah, I think so.
And
11 in a row. And he hasn't gotten a hit since Tommy Pham called him the worst commissioner in sports.
They got 3 against Boston. So, let's imagine they keep this losing streak going. We play them on a 14-game losing streak. Eventually, it's got to turn around. And it would be very old Mets that they turn it around against us. Should be very new Mets that if they are still mired in a slump, we should beat the fuck out of them.
Yep. And we have Noah, I think, scheduled potentially for Sunday as of now, right? So that could be a lot of fun. I know the 7 lines are going to be out there. They're going to be going crazy.
It's a new Mets thing, not an old Mets thing.
Yeah, not an old Mets thing. But no matter what, if there's any glimpse of the old Mets or there's nothing but new Mets, through every fucking game, as you're half awake on your couch, no matter what, as with the cold Coors Light in your hand, gotta believe.